Walk into nearly any American home today, and chances are you'll meet a pet. According to the American Pet Products Association, roughly 94 million U.S. households now share their home with at least one animal, a number that reflects not just ownership, but an unbreakable bond. And that connection is stronger than ever. A 2025 report by the North American Pet Health Insurance Association found that 97% of pet owners consider their animals full-fledged members of the family.
No country in the world overall is more deeply invested in pets, whether it's ownership or money spent or time spent, than the U.S. Canada's close, very similar. The U.K. or Great Britain, very similar.
That's Mark Cushing, the founder and CEO of the Animal Policy Group and the author of the book Pet Nation. He breaks down the two most popular pets in America. You might be surprised that it's an even split.
Dogs and cats in the U.S. are about the same numbers. That may surprise people, but dogs are the public face of pet ownership in what I call Pet Nation for obvious reasons. You know, cats don't roam free and always make it back home. So there are countries that value the cat more. There's countries that value birds more. South America, my brother's wife's from Nicaragua. People were, and Argentina is another good example. They were as likely to have a parrot or an exotic tropical bird as they were a dog or a cat.
The modern pet industry isn't just about organic food or premium toys anymore. There's a whole niche dedicated to every aspect of ownership, from holistic treatments to luxury daycare. According to the American Pet Products Association, Americans are expected to spend $157 billion on their pets by the end of 2025. Roughly $67 billion of that goes toward food and treats alone, with vet care and health products making up a growing part of the bill.
Dog walkers in New York can make up to $200,000 a year in Manhattan. That's pretty good income. Your job is to walk dogs. But that's, how do you have a large dog in an Upper East Side apartment and you work during the day? You've got to do something with it, right? So it just makes sense. And we've seen an explosion of new people. There's, probably now close to 2 million people working in the pet industry.
For many, pets aren't just animals, they're family. Millennials and Gen Z together now own nearly 2/3 of all pets. And many see caring for a dog or cat as a natural fit with their lifestyle. Dan Rubenstein, the founder and CEO of Pups Pet Club in Chicago, says this younger demographic makes up the core of his business.
They love their dogs so much. They treat their dogs more like family than any prior generation that I had come into contact with, including my own. So I really do admire and appreciate them. They want the best for them. I think they tend to focus on not necessarily a particular service, but they focus on whatever is going to improve the quality of their dog's life and their life collectively.
Pups Pet Club helps owners with dog training, daycare, and veterinary care. Currently, across the U.S., there's still a widespread shortage of veterinarians. As demand continues to grow, many practices simply can't keep up.
They've sent a message to the pet supply and pet service and medical world as follows. We want the same quality and scale of things for our pets as we have for ourselves. Healthcare, nutritional choices, you name it, accessories. But particularly in the healthcare arena, that's the case. And what we see right now are veterinary clinics woefully understaffed. There aren't enough veterinarians. There aren't enough vet nurses. And you have a surging demand from millennials for care. And they want something that veterinarians weren't trained to do. They want advice. They'll pay for it, but they want guidance on how do I take care of my cat or dog? How do I manage their health care? Because I manage my own health care. So can you tell me how? Well, they just can't get that. And telemedicine's been slow to become popular with veterinarians. It's changing now, but it's been slow.
While telemedicine doesn't work in all scenarios, Cushing says it's one more tool in the toolbox and can be handy in certain situations. Another growing sector in pet health is the use of natural supplements like CBD.
CBD is just one of 118 cannabinoids, but it gets the most attention. And as you would expect, it has followed the legalization of recreational marijuana. So you had pet owners, baby boomers, Gen Xers, that have used marijuana in their lives and found it a stress relief or a pain relief, and they like that more than opioids as a medication. And it's not surprising, and that's really what happened. They began to say, well, if it works for us, and we're going to go on an 8-hour drive, and we know our dog or our cat hates being in the car, and cats particularly, it can be difficult. Not every cat, but many can. And what will a veterinarian do? They'll give you gabapentin. So they'll prescribe gabapentin. But a lot of people are uncomfortable with that, and they began to say, well, wait a second. I wonder if the same thing would work for us.
Looking ahead as more Americans head into retirement, experts predict that the demand for cats and dogs will only grow. So if you're looking to add a dog or cat to your home sometime soon, make sure it's the right fit for your lifestyle. A new animal is a big commitment, but for most owners, the joy and companionship are worth the challenge. Try to always adopt from a local shelter. If you do choose to go through a dog breeder, Cushing says do your research to make sure the business is treating their dogs well and follows basic standards for responsible breeding. Ethical businesses should be able to show proof of health screenings and certifications and safe, sanitary living conditions for all animals.
The best thing to do is go see the breeder. If your dog's being delivered to you from 1,500 miles away, you need some evidence of how they raised that dog, I think, the medical records, some video, the breeders haven't been transparent, and that's their own fault. So people wonder what goes on behind those hedgerows when they hear dogs yelping and wondering what's going on there. And I think demand information and ideally demand access. And there are breeders that will accommodate that. And there could be ones in your area too.
If you're still on the fence about becoming an owner, Rubenstein recommends fostering a pet first to do a trial run. He fosters dogs himself through a local organization in Chicago.
I feel like I'm just a part of that organization and doing my part in, to find, dogs great homes and to give them a great home while, they're in that process. So they're just so sweet and so loving and so appreciative and so smart. So you just got to give them a chance. And sometimes, instead of being cooped up in a shelter or at a rescue, it's better to be in someone's home. So if you can foster a dog, it gives them a better chance of acclimating to someone's home because then they're used to that environment and they're not going to be as, let's call it, temperamental when they do finally migrate to some new person's home.
Pets have a way of finding the quiet corners of our lives and filling them with meaning. No matter how much the world shifts around us, the relationship between people and their animals remains simple and constant. It's also a reminder that love doesn't always need words to be felt. To find out more about the pet industry, pet adoption, and our guests, Mark Cushing and Dan Rubenstein, visit viewpointsradio.org. You can learn more about Pups Pet Club by going to pupspetclub.com. This segment was written and produced by Amir Zaveri. Our studio manager is Jason Dickey. I'm Marty Peterson.